everybody, it's Oopsy Daisy here, and today we are going to be playing Everquest II. Now, Everquest II is a game that's been around about as long as World of Warcraft, but in my opinion, it's much more expansive. The fantasy elements are a lot more prominent, and it's a little bit more realistic in style. It's very pretty, and most systems can run it. So, you can create a level 95 character once to start, but we're going to just do a regular character today. They also have all these event servers. This one, players vote to unlock expansions. This one, race for awards before the event ends. And this one is most items can be freely traded between players. We're just going to go with a traditional server today, and this is the class selection screen. And there's 4 archetypes: fighter, priest, mage, and scout. And in each archetype there is either 6 or 7 classes. This is where you get the summary of the class and the archetype depending on what's highlighted. So we're just gonna quickly run through the classes in the fighter archetype. So I'm just going to start with Guardian. As it highlights here. You get a little quote from someone prominent in the lore that was of this class, and at the bottom here it just shows you your primary stat. I'm only going to read this for the first and last class because, you know, you don't want to hear this exact same snippet over and over again. So, I am a wall of steel. No harm shall come to those I defend. Captain Tilmar Dravis, the Kinos Guard. The Guardian is the anchor of any group of adventurers, providing leadership and protection for their allies. Combining durable armor with an impressive array of defensive skills, Guardians can remain standing after absorbing substantial amounts of physical damage from their enemies. Guardians depend on strength as their primary stat because it determines maximum power and increases damage. By the way, if you don't really want to listen to me go through every single class, there are going to be timestamps in the description to where you can skip to the race section or skip the create a sim demo entirely. Demonstration. We're gonna do monk. Let your fist be as the wind, but never forget it is our discipline that gives us true strength. Zanfi, founder of the Whistling Fists clan. The monk is a spiritual combatant who believes in the philosophy of mind over body. The mastery of physical prowess allows monks to hasten their formidable attacks, purge their bodies of ailments, move invisibly past their enemies, and even fool opponents into believing them dead. Then there's Paladin. Give aid to the poor, defend the weak, bring hope to the hopeless. This is our duty. Drumden Ironlance, adventurer. The epitome of honor and valor, Paladins excel in martial combat while employing divine magic to enhance their abilities and strike down their enemies. By invoking both protective and healing magic, the Paladin can often survive battles that would crumble those of lesser resolve. Now, if you notice that I went down this way, and I'm going to do this way next, these are more neutral classes, and these are slightly more good aligned. That ties into a system of faction change that is free for anyone, by the way. Plus, you know, it ties into a lot of things in the game. But basically, these are slightly good, these are neutral. Even though some of their descriptions are kind of not. Berserker. Go ahead, hit me, but be warned I'll strike back twice as hard. Mordek the Unrivaled, adventurer. The Berserker is the personification of unbridled aggression and fury. They are fearsome opponents, especially when facing many foes at once. Berserkers stand at the forefront of battle, unleashing their devastating rage upon the enemy while keeping unwanted attention away from their allies. Berserkers depend on strength as their primary stat because it determines maximum power and increases damage. I'm sorry, accidentally read that. I need more coffee. Okay. Bruiser. Crush your opponents. There is no room for mercy or pity in what we do. Enforcer Kurdek, the Dreadnought. Bruisers are relentless juggernauts of strength and intimidation who have transformed their bodies into vicious weapons to inflict pain and suffering upon their enemies. Masters of physical combat, bruisers rely upon deflection and agility to avoid attacks as they brutalize their foes. Bruisers depend on strength as their primary stat because it determines maximum power and increases damage. I keep reading that, I'm sorry. Shadowknight. I'm not going to read it this time. The weak will tremble at my touch and cower before my sword. Paras Mordeth, Adventurer. Shadowknights are malevolent crusaders who wreak havoc, who wreak fear, hate, and despair upon all who would oppose them. In addition to their formidable martial skills, Shadowknights conjure dark magic with which they can enhance their abilities and drain away the life force from their enemies. I didn't do it. I did not do it that time. On to priests. If you enjoy being invaluable to your allies who require your support to achieve daring feats, you may want to consider the priest archetype. In a group, a priest uses a variety of healing spells to sustain the livelihood of their friends. They also augment group power through statistical or mitigation increases. If a group member should fall to one of the many perils of Norath, the priest can return his or her ally to life. While a priest will never harness the offensive powers of a mage or a scout, they still brandish enough offensive prowess to defeat opponents one-on-one. Now, I'm going to do my best to try to do this right this time. Templar. We will call forth the wisdom of the gods and bring light to the darkened world. Kandrek, White Rose, the Celestial Watch. Templars use divine power to mend the wounded and cure the suffering or the afflicted. They can enhance the fortitude of their allies while making their opponents more vulnerable to attack. Templars can pacify foes, nullifying their normal combat attacks for a short time. Templars depend on wisdom as their primary stat because it determines maximum power and damage. This is a Warden. Growth is the source of life and healing. We must defend nature from those who would corrupt it. Saavedra Packmistress, the Tunarian Alliance. Wardens invoke their druidic powers to mend wounds and purge disease and poison from their allies. While Wardens excel in regenerative healing, they can command the forces of nature against their foes. They can change shape, imbuing themselves and their allies with the form of the Great Wolf. I know this much. Wardens can change into more than just wolves on this game. Just keep that in mind. Mystic. The spirits of our ancestors give us the power to make our allies strong. Horgan McLaughlin of Greystone Yard. The Mystic is a shaman of spiritual preservation and enlightenment. Mystics are known for their powerful warding spells that protect allies from harm. The Mystic can enhance the party's attributes and provide magical protection in combat while inflicting debilitating weakness upon the enemy. Again, wisdom is their stat for all of these. Inquisitor, starting with the bad boy classes. I will heal and make strong those who abide by my doctrines. Priestess Zalia, the Dismal Rage. Capable of serving as the cornerstone of any adventuring party, the Inquisitor can heal wounds and purge ailments such as disease and poison. Inquisitors invoke divine strikes against their opponents and retaliate with unyielding conviction against those that dare to harm their allies. Fury. Nature gives us strength, and we will teach others to respect it. Kresha Fen, Mistress of the Glade. Embodying the primal forces of nature, the Fury is equally capable of both defense and destruction. In addition to regenerative healing, Furies can enhance the physical attributes and mystical might of their allies, making the attack of their party members even more formidable. Defiler. We bend the spirit realm to our will, commanding its power to weaken our enemies. Nesiya Ainima. Spiritist. The text is very small. A powerful ally, Defilers are able to mend wounds and remove ailments from the afflicted. Fearsome in battle, the Defiler employs ancient rituals of dark power to sicken, harm, and reduce the fighting prowess of the enemy. Defilers depend on wisdom as their primary stat. Yeah, we know. Channelers. Now this is the last one. I made sure to save this for last because it is a premium class. Anything that has this gold square around it is a premium. It is unlocked with all access, which is $15 a month. I will get that at some point. I vow this. Okay. By this atrocity, we maintain the balance. Daleen Blackwood, Channeler. Channelers engage in a delicate balancing act with nature, both embracing it and consuming it utterly to protect their allies and destroy their enemies. Channelers hold a delicate balance with the truth spirit, carefully maintaining the equilibrium with Norath to stave off corruption of the true spirit. The channeler uses their construct to hold the essences of creatures as well as redirecting and reducing damage that would be done to their companions. Channelers focus on mobility, using their powerful bows as a tool for both destruction and restoration. Okay, so on to mages, otherwise known as glass cannons. Glass cannon. Those who wish to master the powers of magic to decimate or subdue their enemies are naturally drawn to the role of a mage. These practitioners of magic employ their arcane talents to either the annihilation or domination of their enemies. The mage is also capable of endowing party members with beneficial arcane enchantments during combat. Although the mage is limited to wearing light armor and wield few types of weapons, these cunning sorcerers have little need of such mundane devices. And we've got Wizard, Warlock, Illusionist, Coercer, Conjuror, and Necromancer. So, we'll start with Wizard. Never cross a wizard. We excel at making our enemies explode in dramatic fashion. Al-Kador, Archmage of Erudin. The wizard can unleash the purest forms of destruction by harnessing the arcane magics of fire and ice. Channeling the full force of these elements into deadly focus, no other type of mage is able to match the wizard's ability to inflict such great devastation upon a single target. Wizards depend on intelligence as their primary stat because it determines maximum power and increases damage. I'm gonna try to do that, not read that too much again. Illusionist. We confound our enemies and strike them down before they can discern illusion from reality. Elendil Ferox, the Concordium. Illusionists employ subtlety and distraction to impose their will upon the enemy, using their mental acuity to confuse, misdirect, and subdue their opponents. Illusionists can bring order to an otherwise chaotic environment while bestowing beneficial enchantments upon their allies. Coercer. Whether by fire, water, earth, or air, those who challenge me will fall before the primal elements at my command. Najena, renowned mage. Though possessing many potent abilities, the greatest weapons in the Conjurer's arsenal are the powerful elemental minions summoned forth to do their bidding. These dutiful servants obey their master's every command, whether ordered to stand guard or launch attacks against the Conjuror's foes. Warlock. I will call down chaos and destruction upon anyone who dares enter my presence uninvited. Sorcerer Venoth, the Divinian Court. So many Warlocks are masters of death and decay who channel the forces of poison and disease to bring an untimely end to their enemies. By invoking these dark powers and unleashing destruction all around them, Warlocks can deal devastating damage against multiple opponents at once. Coercer. What you want is irrelevant. Your will is mine to dominate. Toyana Naladin of the House of Altiva. The Coercer is capable of subduing enemies, sending them into a paralyzing state of fascination or causing them to flee in uncontrollable terror. Masters of domination, Coercers can subjugate the mind of another, taking complete control and forcing an unwilling creature to do their bidding. Sounds nice. Necromancer. The dead are mine to command, and my army grows larger every day. Turin Deveth, Arcane Researcher. The Necromancer is an unholy master of death and decay. Dominating the unliving, the Necromancers summon forth undead servants that attack their opponents without fear or hesitation. Necromancers employ dark arcane magic that weakens the enemy as they drain away its life force. They use intelligence. That sounds about so coffee. Okay, Scout. The Scout is an ideal profession for those who wish to deal in the business of death and thievery. The Scout is not a frontline fighter and relies on stealth and superior positioning to evade and attack their foes. The primary role of a Scout is to deal out damage or enhance the damage capabilities of those around them. The Scout wears chain armor and has access to an array of weaponry. There's Swashbuckler, Brigand, Troubadour, Dirge, Ranger, Assassin, and Beast Lord. They call these Swashies. Swashbuckler. Dashing may be my middle name, but don't cross my path in a dark alley. Vestas Cyranus, Cut Purse. The Swashbuckler is a dashing rogue known for flamboyant acts and grandiose accomplishments. Using cunning and skill, swashbucklers inflict devastating attacks against foes before slipping into the shadows. Masters of misdirection, swashbucklers often avoid the blame for their potent strikes. Swashbucklers depend on agility as their primary stat because it determines maximum power and increases damage. Troubadour. With voice and lute, with drum and song, I shall make my allies strong. Antonican Bard Anthem. Troubadours inspire and protect their companions with songs of bravery and heroism. By infusing music with magic, troubadours embolden their allies into performing outstanding feats of courage against their opponents. The troubadours' songs are particularly popular with spellcasters. Ranger. If you make a ranger, note you will have to craft all of your own arrows. Whether that's good or bad is up to you. Ranger. I only need to know 3 things: the speed of the wind, the speed of my target, and the speed of my arrow. Felnor Trueshot, Master Archer. Rangers are unrivaled in their ability to hunt foes and scout dangers in the untamed wilds of Norath. Known for their sneaking safely through dangerous territory. Rangers use stealth, perception, and cunning to seek out enemies and fell them from a distance with a deadly volley of arrows. Brigand. It should. Brigand. Why fight face to face when it's so much more fun to stab your enemy in the back? Sane Orathni. Outlaw. Brigands are crafty rogues who employ intimidation and force to subdue their enemies. The brigand maintains an element of unpredictability to arouse discomfort, fear, and confusion in an opponent. Strikes from a brigand will often leave a foe crippled and vulnerable to further attacks. Dirge. This song of rage you hear me sing ignites the fury that I bring. Ancient battle chant. Dirges play songs of despair, misery, and lamentation that invoked intense fury and aggression within the hearts of their allies. The dirge can use music to inflict great despair and longing in enemies, demoralizing them so completely that their abilities are significantly diminished. Assassin. The only time you'll hear me approach is when I want you to feel fear before my dagger strikes. Mithrin Shadowstep, Mercenary. The assassin is the master of sinister strikes and opportunistic attacks, exceptionally skilled at surprising unwitting opponents. They strike suddenly and inflict massive damage. Assassins are known for their using deadly poisons to debilitate their targets before finishing them off. And lastly, the premium class Beast Lord. The true spirit is not a power to be trifled with. Salih Mar Beast Lord. Warriors of the true spirit, Beast Lords, and their warders work together to vanquish their foes or bolster their allies. Masters of the martial style of combat, Beast Lords use their natural instincts to take control of combat. Their animal companions help them by opening weakness in their opponents, which the Beast Lord can take advantage of. This allows them to tap into their savage nature, unlocking primal power and turning them into a deadly and fearsome opponent. And that is all of the classes. Now, I'm trying something new. I'm going to be a wizard. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz, because of the wonderful things he does. Do. I click next. There we go. Now for the races. The races are separated into 3 separate tabs: good, neutral, and evil. Neutral is the most plentiful category, as evil and good contain only 6 races, and neutral contains 9. There's also male and female, and because there was an Asian release of Everquest that failed, there is sometimes an alternate appearance button here that offers some of the races a more anime-like appearance, but I personally think that it kind of doesn't look very nice. Okay, so let's start with good, because it's, on the left. Dwarves. Give me a mug of ale, a warm fire, and a long tale of a great battle, and I'll show you a happy dwarf. Trumpy Irontoe, Adventurer. Stout and surly, dwarves are renowned for their bravery and devotion. Brash talk and boisterous attitude follow a dwarf from the field of battle to the tavern hall. Dwarves make excellent fighters and priests. Now, for future reference, each race has 2 archetypes that they are better at than most of the other races. Some of them are well-rounded and do good at everything. Others, like the dwarf and several more, are excellent at specific things. You can choose to abide by these, or you can choose not to. It's just going to increase your difficulty level just a little bit more if you choose a class and race combination outside of the race's archetype thing. Does that make sense? Okay. I think so. Okay. Froglocks. A heart that lacks the capacity for truth, honor, and courage does not deserve to be beating. Oh, sorry. Brain fart. Lady Irilis, Order of Mar. Mentally sharp and morally virtuous, the good-natured Froglocks strive to purge villainy and corruption from Norath. Froglocks make excellent fighters and priests. Halfling. Come on, little halfling, I want to read your description. Okay. I'll trade a song and a lively jig for another slice of that jum-jum pie. Fribbit, warm belly, tavern patron. The courageous halflings are good-natured and friendly, amiable to anyone willing to share a warm meal and a grand tale. Known for their humor, they enjoy mischief and shenanigans. Halflings makes excellent scouts and mages. Did I see what the Froglocks were good at? Sorry. Fighters and priests. Fae. All of nature binds us together, carrying our spirits from one ring to the next. Queen Amory of the Fae. Fae are the vivacious heart of Greater Faedark. Friendly and light-hearted, they enjoy playing tricks on the unwary. Fae make excellent scouts and priests. Didn't think they made priests. Made good priests. But anyway, they do, so yay! Okay, High Elves. Let the valor and honor in your hearts be an example of for the younger races to follow. From the writings of King Tiras Thex. The fair-skinned High Elves embody nobility and wisdom. They are a benevolent people who strive for order and discipline, though some consider their stoic nature a sign of arrogance. High Elves make excellent priests and mages. Wood Elf. Our duty is to the forest and vales of Norath, which we will defend in the name of our Creator. Tel Allah Woodspire, the Heartwood Matron. Wood Elves are pleasant and friendly, fierce protectors of the woodlands. They will do battle with any who dare to taint the purity of nature. Wood Elves are excellent scouts and priests. On to neutral. Coffee. Now, I'm just going to go like this because there's so many. The first is a premium race known as Aerkin. We are in exile. Our path home is barred from us. Live among them and be smith, merchant, or soldier. With every deed you forge our futures here, and with every action we shall be judged. Kith. Once the unwilling soldiers of the great prismatic dragon Carafirm, the Aerkin are now free from his thrall. Unable to return to their homelands, they seek to reestablish their culture on Norath. Having been used as shock troops by Carafirm throughout the age's end, they are looked at with suspicion, but the Aerkin are determined to prove their worth. Ratonga. Me? Don't mind me. Wasn't doing anything. No, I didn't take that. You must be thinking of someone. Hey, did you hear what that ogre was saying about you? Reni Parvat, collector of antiquities. The Ratonga are agile, crafty, and surprisingly charismatic. Little is known of their past. They are keenly perceptive and highly intelligent, but tend to be selfish and manipulative. Ratonga make excellent scouts and mages. Barbarian. Though we hail from the frozen halls of Halas, our hearts burn with the fire that cannot be extinguished. Karg, Icemoor, adventurer. Hardy and strong barbarians never back away from a just conflict. Barbarians are loyal companions and unforgiving enemies. They make excellent fighters and priests. Erudite. The erudite mind is uniquely capable of mastering arcane arts and harnessing mystical forces. The lesser races simply cannot compare. Custodian Zadar, arcane scientist. Though descended from humans, erudites eschew all ties to their less intellectual ancestry. Their culture is centered upon the accumulation of arcane knowledge and mystical power. Erudites make excellent mages and priests. Human. We will rise above whatever challenges we face. Humanity's greatest strength is our ability to adapt and overcome. From the Journal of Antonius Bale. 5? Whatever V is in Roman numerals. I think it's 5. Need to brush up on that. I learned those in school. Humans are diverse and adaptable, sometimes wise and sometimes foolish. Humans are capable of both remarkable ingenuity and startling brutality. Humans are well-rounded and are good at a variety of classes, meaning they will be good at whatever class you pick. Free blood. Go gadget Twilight. If you like Twilight, these, or Shadow Hunters, these are daylight or vampires. They say we are death, but this is short-sighted. As one life ends, another shall begin. This applies to us as it does to all things, and in fact, defines what we are. Talvin Daladar. Daldair. Daldare. Whatever. Not content with hiding away in the alleys and shadows, the free blood have made their presence known. Unlike their cousins such as Demort and Tahain, the free blood are not hindered by many of the weaknesses of the known vampire race and can even be found moving about in full sunlight. Free blood make excellent scouts and mages. Half-elf. We will forge our own future, for the Ayerdal are not bound by the limits of our ancestry. Callias Darkstorm of Beggar's Court. Caught between the cultures of elves and humans, half-elves have struggled to establish their own society. They are known for their force, determination, and independent spirit. Half-elves are well-rounded and are good at a variety of classes. Also a good class, or a good race to do if you want to pick something outside of a class combination or anything like that. Gnome. If I can isolate the transmogrification array of the influctuation capacitor, overall efficiency of the electroconflectulator will increase 1,000%. Epic Wobblecog. Inventor. Can you tell? Gnomes make up for their small stature with tenacity and ingenuity. Known for their inquisitive nature, they are constantly tinkering with devices, both mystical and technological. Gnomes make excellent scouts and mages. Keira. Our hearts roar with courage. We will defend our kin and preserve the traditions of our elders. Murar Shar, emissary of Queen Bale. Keira worship the spirits of the land and those of their ancestors. Their often docile demeanor masks the fearsome and powerful predators that they are. Keira are well-rounded and are good at a variety of classes. And we go on to evil. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Dun dun dun. Okay, we start with Arasai. We are creatures of pure magic. Flesh is weak, but magic will never fail. Mistress of Densi of the Arasai. The malicious children of hate and dark magic, Arasai take pure pleasure and honor their goddess through defiling and torturing the inferior races across Norath. Arasai make excellent scouts and mages. Dark Elf. Norath cries out for the leadership of the Tirdal, and the armies of Niriak will answer. Queen Kristanos of Niriak. Dark elves are the embodiment of evil and maliciousness. Sinister, cunning, and dangerous, dark elves cruelly prey upon the weak and the ignorant. Dark elves make excellent scouts and mages. Ixar. Our pain gives us focus, but it is our history that drives us. Though kingdoms rise and fall, we will never forget our destiny. Grandmaster Glock's Court of Pain. Calculating and cold, the Ixar are a powerful reptilian race whose history is defined by conflict. They are a harsh but disciplined people who delight in cruelty and conquest. The Ixar make excellent fighters and mages. Ogre. We are a race of kings. One by one, the lands of those who oppose us will be burned to the ground. General Urduk, commander of the Ralosian army. Ogres are aggressive brutes who show their opponents neither sympathy nor mercy. Strong and intelligent, their physical might is matched only by their hunger for power. Ogres make excellent fighters and priests. Sarnak. Voices will carry the inspiring songs of our victories for generations. For Gorwin, Archlord Gorsak. For a future reference, out of all of the evil races, the Sarnak are semi-evil. Like if you make a character and check the reputation section, all of the other evil races you will be hated, and this one will be suspicious or something like that. The Sarnak are well-rounded and are good at a variety of classes. The males are also smaller than the females, just so you know. And lastly, Trolls. Trolls. Trolls are consumed by their primal instincts. Beware their fierce hunger, for they will use any means to obtain that which they crave. From the ancient Guktan tome. Trolls care only about satisfying their hunger for food and lust for battle. Their unpredictable behavior and formidable strength make them fearsome and deadly opponents. Trolls make excellent fighters and priests, and oh my gosh, what is that? Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now I'm done. So, see you later.